Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and make sure you hit that like button. And I want to start out this video by saying thank you guys so much for the support in this series and as a whole. This is the first video I am recording since getting 10,000 subscribers, so you guys have been amazing. I definitely wouldn't be doing this without you. I love doing this with you guys. I'm not doing it for you guys. I'm not doing it because of what I like to do. I obviously love to do this, but I'm doing it with you guys. I think we're a team, and I like what we're building here with this Mariners franchise. So let's hop into the nitty gritty. We are 31-33 here on the season, and checking out the standings here, we're 5 games back from first place in the AL West, and we're 3.5 games back from the wild card. We still don't know if we're contenders or pretenders right now, but we're doing pretty good, at least through the first part of the season. And I think this is about where the Mariners should be in real life. I think they're overachieving right now, but we'll see. Before hopping into the draft, I just want to take a look at some of our top prospects. Evan White at first base. I really like this guy. I want to see his power improve. I think he's going to be a power hitter. Obviously, he's a first baseman, so that's what he's going to need to do. And right now, he's doing pretty good. Hitting .299 at AAA. He's 62 overall, B potential at age 22. In the infield, Shed Long is at AAA. I'm thinking about actually moving him down. Like I said, I want to get some backup depth, so I can maybe move Negron down to AAA because I don't think he's really doing that well at the MLB level. He's 0 for 12 in his first 12 at-bats. But I'm excited about JB Crawford. I don't know about you guys. A lot of you guys have said that I should think about moving him. But look at his improvement. He's went up +7 already in contact versus left. He's already at 80 discipline. He's got decent arm strength. He's going to get better there. But I like the progression he's making. He's hitting .287 right now, and he is one of our best infielding prospects in our organization. Let's look at the outfield really quick. Braden Bishop is hitting .247. I'm expecting him to make the MLB leap within the next 2 years, and I like his speed. He has decent arm strength. I like him for his fielding most of all. Kyle Lewis still has a couple years to go. He's hitting .255. He's on a cold streak apparently, but he's got B potential. Jared Kelenic is going to be the star. He's going to be the all-around guy, I think, and I'm excited for his development. I'm keeping him at A-ball. A-ball, you're pretty much not influenced by stats, so you get kind of a steady progression. So we're going to keep him there probably for this entire year. And then Estevan Florial, he's only 59 overall, but A potential, but we just traded for him. Let's look at our pitching here, though. We got a couple of good prospects, starting with, I still don't know how to say this guy's name, Max Posey. I think that's how you say it, Posey. But he's B potential, 66 overall. I like what he's doing so far, a 110 whip at AA. That's pretty good. Justin Dunn was on the DL. He's our only A potential pitcher here, but he's really good, and I'm excited for what he's going to do. And then Justice Sheffield. What am I saying? I'm forgetting about Justice Sheffield. He's actually struggling at AAA. I don't know. I thought I had him at AA, but apparently I didn't. He and Logan Gilbert are also one of our top prospects as well. Logan Gilbert's actually 2-7, but a 115 whip and 3.39 ERA isn't bad. So let's hop into the first year player draft here in 2019. And you see the Orioles have the first pick of this draft, and we have pick number 19. Let's just see if we have any competitive balance. No, we don't. Doesn't look like we have any of those picks here, so it looks like we're just getting regular round picks. So let's just simulate up to our pick, and let's look at the top guy here, Ervin Sanchez. Let's just look at the top guy at the number 1 pick, Erwin Sanchez. What am I saying? He looks pretty good. I mean, 19 years old. He's a 80 potential guy. 2 back-to-back 19-year-olds. This time it's a catcher. So he looks pretty good as well. A lot of these guys aren't starting out with high overalls, though. This guy has a pretty high overall, 65 right now as a shortstop. That's actually pretty good. Man, look at him. He's going to be fast. It looks like he's a defensive guy, and he's got power. Wow, this guy might actually end up being really good. So all the blue chip guys are off the board, but we do have the pick of the litter here with a couple of 80 potential guys that we did fully scout. Let's start off with, Kevin Lerma. He's 20 years old, only 5'7". He's got good speed. His hitting zones are actually pretty decent, but he's at 50 overall, 80 potential. I don't know about getting a guy that low. I would have to say that, the lowest I'll go is 55, even though he's 80 potential. But I want to look at this guy here, Warner Zamora. So he's a left-handed hitter, a right fielder, but look at him, man. He's pretty good. He's got speed for sure. Arm strength is pretty good right now. He's a lefty. He's only 5'8", but he's 21 years old. I think he's got a few years to develop in the minors, and he actually gives us a good hitting option. You see his contact versus right can absolutely be elite. So I like this guy at our first pick. Let's see if we can find somebody else. The only two other guys I really see competing with Warner are Eric Gasaldo. I think that's how you say it, Gasaldo. And I think he's a pretty good player, but we don't have him fully scouted. You see the accuracy isn't as high. And then Huey Arthur, watch out for this guy. I think if he comes around in the second round, I'm actually gonna consider going after this guy. He's 18 years old, 80 potential, and 65 overall. We don't have the accuracy fully there. Like I said, the CPU scouts don't like to scout all the way, so you have to kind of force them to do it. So I actually had it on auto when I was catching up with the OSFM rosters, but to be honest, I like Warner Zamora. With our first pick, he's a right fielder, hits from the left side of the plate and throws left, and he's 21 years old. Yeah, he's a little older, but I do like him right here with our first pick. He's not too old. I mean, he's 21, so I like this pick. I like this as our first pick. His hitting zones are good, so let's get him. On to the second round. We do have a couple of guys that we do have fully scouted here, and they are 70 potential, but I think they might be around for a couple more rounds. I like this guy here, John Fong. I think he's a pretty good potential guy. He's 70 potential, but I do want to get another 80 potential guy in the first two rounds. And look who's still here. Huey Arthur is still here. He's 18 years old, like I just highlighted, and I really like his potential as an 18-year-old. I mean, he's got a few years to develop, and if he already comes in at around 65 overall and he's got A potential, I mean, that's a steal. But another guy I do want to look at here is Daniel Hyde, another 18-year-old. But look, his ETA is actually sooner than Huey Arthur's is, and look at him. I mean, he's 75 potential, but look at it, 80 potentially in hits per 9, 75 in strikeouts per 9, and 75 in walks per 9. I mean, honestly, this guy has a lower ceiling, but he just looks better. He's even 5'11", not saying that height is anything here, but he's 1 inch taller. I think he's got more potential at more attributes here. You can just see the strikeouts per 9 for Huey Arthur is only 60, even though he's 80 potential. I know it's hard to pass up on 80 potential guys, but I think that Daniel Hyde here is, I mean, it's hard to get guys like this, and he's coming in at 70 overall right now. I mean, that's amazing, and seeing him develop, he's probably going to be a B potential, and I'm hoping that he's going to be B at least. And maybe, you never know, the accuracy isn't up there all the way. This guy could actually end up being an A potential. You never know. So let's go after Daniel Hyde. I know some of you guys are like, go for the 80 potential guys. Hopefully they're there in the third round, but I think this guy has way too much potential here to even pass on. So it looks like Huey Arthur was picked up about 5 picks after we just chose Daniel Hyde. So that sucks. He is picked by the Indians here. And let's move on to our next pick. So I do want in this draft to get an infielder and possibly a catcher. If we can find a good catcher. We don't have many catchers scouted here. You can just see here not many catchers are even close to being accurate here. So I'm thinking about, building some infielders. We don't really have that much depth in our farm system in the infield. We have a couple of guys, Shed Long and JP Crawford, obviously, but JP Crawford is actually 24 years old, and not saying that he's a little behind, but he is a little behind. So I've kind of focused my thoughts on this guy, Ronald Marte. He's a 20-year-old international player. He's 70 overall right now, at least around it, and he's 80 potential. So an 80 potential guy we can possibly get with our third pick here. You can see his reaction. I like that a lot because, man, if you got good reaction on the infield, you're going to save a lot of hits going through, and he has good contact versus left. He is a righty, so I do need some right-handed hitters in our organization, and his fielding's actually got the potential to be at 80. This guy actually kind of, he might be able to play shortstop a little bit, and I like that he doesn't have the greatest of arm strength, but he's pretty good. So I'm going to go with him. He's 20 years old. He's from Cuba as well. So another international player coming to the Mariners. On to the 4th round. We have 3 more picks left. And right now, we just need to get the most accurate guy that we have as far as potential. And this could be hit or miss because we're in that gray area of you don't know if these guys are going to be good or not. We don't have the accuracy on most of these guys. So let's just sort by most accurate here. We can see a couple of guys. We do want some fielders and some infielders. I'm looking at a couple of guys here. Doug Shea is interesting, but he's 22 years old, a little too old for me, and he's not going to be ready for quite a few years, at least 4. And I just want to develop some guy who maybe has higher potential than that and is younger. Let's just look at some other guys here. And one guy I brought up earlier, Gasaldo, is still available. 2021. He's projected to be ready. He's 65 overall right now. He's 21. So he'll be ready for the show maybe around age 24, something like that, I would say. But looking at everything that he has, his strikeouts per 9 aren't the greatest, but he has good velocity potential. I like that a lot. And his control is pretty decent as well. He's got a sweeping curveball and a changeup. I hope that changeup is pretty good. I mean, I hope that, we can just get another starter here. Let's look at some other guys. So right in the middle of the pack here, I came across a couple of second basemen. I'm trying to find a shortstop, like I said, but look at Bobby Segura. I don't know how low his overall is right now or how high it is. It says he's 70 overall, but he's not expected to be MLB ready until 2023 plus. But I don't understand it because look at his arm strength and his fielding. I mean, they're almost maxed out right now. And he's got decent speed. He's got good hitting zones right now for a young 19-year-old. And he's 6'3". He's got size and power from the right side of the plate. He's at 55 power right now with the potential to be about 70. He doesn't have the greatest vision. It's at 35 and his plate discipline is at 30. But I like Bobby Segura. I hope that he falls to the next round. We should keep an eye on him. But just looking at the other infielders here, they're not as high as potential. Doug Shea, like I said, he's decent. Henry Maeja, I don't know how to say that last name. Brian Soriano, he's decent, but he's just not that great of a hitter, and he's too low of overall. I don't want to develop somebody that's too low of overall. Let's look at, it's not even a shortstop. I mean, all these guys are mostly pitchers. I kind of want to go after Gasaldo here. I mean, he is 80 potential, 65 overall. I think that this is the right move. Get another guy that we can even possibly use as a trade chip. You never know. Or he might end up being a high potential guy, and down the road we might use him. But I don't want to risk also missing out on our gem that we just found, Bobby Segura. I want to keep him on our radar. If he's around next round, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go after him. But this round, let's go with Gasaldo. I think this is a safe pick here. And look at this. The Indians are stealing all of our guys. I mean, they got Bobby Segura about 5 picks after us. Dang, that sucks. Because I think I should have went after Bobby Segura. We're going to check out the ratings of these guys after the draft. But let's see the other guys that we have available here in round 5. At this point, we're pretty much guessing here. We don't have a lot of guys that we have scouted with accuracy. Let's just look at the top guys. I don't see that any of these guys are really impressive. We're looking at Uribe there. Soriano's all right. He's got good arm strength. He's got 80 potential there. Maia, he's at 45 overall, though, 70 potential. Maldonado doesn't really do anything for me. I don't know. Some of these guys just aren't really moving the needle for me. So we're going to have to guess on some of these guys with pretty much no accuracy. I do want to get a catcher, and I don't know if this is the round to do it, but looking at Bernard Ellis, look at his hitting zones. That's what really impresses me here. We do need some catching depth, and we don't have that right now. He's 22 years old. Yeah, he's a little older, but I like that potential with his hitting. His plate vision potential at 75. We don't know how accurate that is, though. And then just looking at another guy that I wanted to kind of key in on is Frankie McCann. He's 20 years old. He's a center fielder. And yes, we do have a lot of outfield depth. But one thing that encourages me here is he's got 80 potential speed. His arm strength's up there as well. He's a defensive center fielder. And his hitting zones aren't bad. I mean, he's got a lot of red versus right-handers, and his injury risk is low. You don't really see that too often. You usually see average, just looking at the guys around him. Average, average, average. I wonder if that's just a sign that maybe he's better than what, is given to him right now. So I'm just going to take a chance on Frankie McCann here. I like his potential hitting the ball, and he's obviously got the defense. Let's just go with him and see how that goes. So on to the last pick, and unfortunately all of the catchers that we had scouted are gone, so those are out of the question. So we're going to just have to pick blindly here, and honestly I'm just probably going to sort by potential and just hope we hit strike gold. I mean, honestly, that's probably the best way to do it. Rafael Jimenez is an outfielder, but I want to go with an infielder. I want to see if I can find an infielder here, and let's just go through the positions here. And we don't have many guys scouted at all. 60 potential, pretty much nobody. I mean, I don't know. I see more people in the all than I do at each position. Actually, no, I don't. It's not that many. It's only maybe like 20, if that. So we might have to go with one of these high potential guys that might be up here. How about a relief pitcher, Richie Gunn? I mean, he's pretty decent. He's 70 potential, 21 years old. We just looked at Rafael Jimenez. He's got good power as well, and we might take a chance on him as well. I don't really know. We have good pitching depth in our organization right now, so I think I might go with Rafael Jimenez. He might be the safest option right here, unless I find something with these last couple guys. No, I mean, I'm just seeing a lot of speed here. I'm looking for somebody that has like great power or something. I don't know. I'm looking for something that jumps off the screen. I'm not really seeing it here. This is pretty much all potential. So I might just go with Rafael Jimenez, who's listed at the top right now. And I think that's who I'm going to go with. Let's just go with Rafael Jimenez. He's a 20-year-old out of Venezuela, 60 overall, 75 potential. But let's just go with them and see what we come up with. So the first pick in the draft, Erwin Sanchez, ends up being 59 overall. The second was a catcher, Jason Huerta. Let's see what 50 overall. They always draft these just low overall guys with high potential. I mean, this is the only guy, Benito Rodriguez, who's A potential and 67 overall. He's pretty good right now. He can't really hit that well. He's got power. But a lot of these guys are just like a bunch of guys with A potential. Ooh, Albert Cooper actually is pretty good. And so is this guy, Estevan Medina. Man, he is really good. As you see him right now, he's A potential, 21 years old. Now let's look at our guys. So Warner Zamora ends up being a B potential, 67 overall right fielder. And he doesn't have the greatest power, but he has decent speed right now. His arm strength is pretty good as well at 69. I think this is an all right first pick. So our second pick was Daniel Hyde. Let's just look at him. So he's C potential. Wow. So I thought he was going to be a higher potential than that, and he ends up being C. But he has good stamina, good hits per 9 at 75, and he's only 18 years old. So he'll have some time to develop. He does come in at 72 overall right away, though. So I guess there's a bright side to that. I was actually interested in what Huey Arthur looked like with the Cleveland Indians, and he was B potential, 61 overall. So, I mean, I think we kind of did pretty well there. So our third pick was Ronald Marte, and let's look at him. So he's B potential, pretty good, 71 overall, not bad. I think that's a good overall to start out with at 20 years old. I actually like this. He's gonna have a year or two to develop in the minors, and you never know. He might be ready to go sooner rather than later. He has good fielding, but that arm strength is 38. He's definitely got to get that up, and his speed's definitely got to improve as well as an infielder. But I like this pick. Not bad for a third-round pick. So the fourth round is where we took that chance. We let go of Bobby Segura. We'll look at him next, but we picked up Gasaldo, and he's pretty decent. 21 years old, 65 overall, and B potential. I like what we got out of him. But let's just check out Bobby Segura. Okay, so I'm not mad at this. So we actually made the right decision there. We passed up on Bobby Segura, even though he had power in the infield. He doesn't have that much power, actually. Only 54 and 52, and he's 68 overall and D potential. Wow, we dodged a bullet there. Fifth round, we chose Frankie McCann, and I was kind of excited about him. I just wanted to take a chance on him. Let's see what he did. And he's a D potential player, but 97 speed. Whoa. I mean, he's a burner right now, but he's got good arm strength and good fielding. So he is definitely a defensive outfielder, and he's probably going to have to sit it out in A-ball right away and maybe even AA. We'll see. I don't know. He'll probably be an A-ball because we do need that potential maybe to go up. I don't know how that works with if you have D potential, but well, I mean, D potential, not a great pick. Let's go on to the 6th round. See who our pick was here, and it was Rafael Jimenez. Hopefully he is a boom player. Okay, so not that good. C potential, 54 overall, 20 years old. I'm not really worried about him, but we had a good draft in the first couple rounds. So here's what the potentials end up being. Zamora is 86, Marte is 85, Gasaldo ends up actually being the best potential guy we have at 87, and Frankie McCann can get better. He's at 69 overall, or 69 potential, so he's gonna get better, but I really like the Zamora pick. He's gonna have a couple of years to develop in the minors. And then Marte actually at 85 potential, I like him as well. He's gonna need to develop as well. And Daniel Hyde is only 18 years old. He's gonna get better, but we had a decent draft. I think the Texas Rangers had a really good draft here. Look at Estevan Medina, 21 years old, and he's a lefty, 21 and A potential. Man, they got a pretty good deal out of this guy. He was the number 5 pick, I believe. I just want to skim through the rest of the league really quick and look at how good we drafted compared to everybody else. There are a couple of other teams that had good drafts. Look at the Mets. They had a good draft. They had an A potential closer here in Sam Purcell. Look at him. He's A potential, 74 overall at only 19 years old. I mean, that's a good pick right here. Derek Hernandez, he's pretty good as well. Then they picked up an 84 potential guy in the 4th round, but he's only 48 overall. I think they had a good draft, but I think we did pretty well. Looking at the Phillies here, oops, let me go back to that. But looking at the Phillies, they had a pretty good draft as well, and I think that they got 2 good guys here, 87 potential and 89 potential, but they're not close to the MLB level. The Reds had a good draft, but man, Herschel Pena came in 40 overall. I mean, I don't think he's ever going to touch the show, to be honest. And then let's just look at some other teams here, and I don't see a team that really overpowered anybody in the draft. Let's look at Albert Cooper. He's pretty good, A potential, 68 overall. And then Cesar Fernandez, he's 56 overall, A potential. I don't really see any teams that really dominated the draft here. The Blue Jays had a good draft here at the top. Ian Woodson, he's 55 overall, A potential. And then Kevin Lerma is 52 overall. So I think we did pretty well. I would say the Cleveland Indians, we actually did miss out here on Huey Arthur. He's pretty good, 18 years old, B potential, 61 overall. But I think we had a good draft all around. I like what we built here, and that's going to do it here in this episode. Let me know what you guys think of the new prospects and how good they'll be. So hit subscribe, hit that like button, stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.